You're watching BBN Tonight on your official UK sports station, LEX 18.
Welcome back to BBN Tonight. Let's get back to football now as Kentucky prepares for another trip to Knoxville. And I screwed up, Keith.
Yeah.
Jeff Piecoro did not beat Tennessee just once. We're talking twice.
Wow.
Twice.
How about that? Twice. What is volunteer week like? I mean, we talked to Cash Daniel yesterday. You have to put up that ugly orange, and you got to hear Rocky Top nonstop.
The best thing, though, guys, is when you're winning, and they used to have the band right behind the bench, and you would go over there and say, "Play Rocky Top now," and they throw oranges at you and stuff. But, yeah, we beat them at Commonwealth Stadium in Coach Kersey's last game. Then we beat them in '84 at Neyland Stadium. So that was to win there was fantastic. And you know, because of the Louisville game that we never played, I was pre-Governor's Cup, so Tennessee was the big rival. And Tennessee week was crazy. It was just like Ohio State, Michigan, USC, UCLA. I mean, it was Tennessee week, man. Everybody, if you had a broken leg, you wanted to play. It's pretty nasty, to tell you the truth. And I just cannot stand the color. I can't stand the team. Nothing about Tennessee that I like.
Well, I think we just end it there.
No. We got more.
Okay, we've got more.
All right, top-ranked recruit Justin Rogers saw some playing time on the defensive line last Saturday. He talked about Mississippi State, that victory on the Behind the Kentucky Football podcast with Curtis Birch. Take a listen.
What was the defensive line's mindset going into that game? Because it seemed like as a whole, position group as a whole, you really stepped up.
Just really go out there, make plays for my room. So for the D-line room, I made plays.
What's that room like? I think you guys got a really good mix of vets and young, talented dudes, and yourself included.
It's that room kind of crazy because like we all let it compete. So like, you know, it's good for me because I learned from Cuba Bohanna, from Marquand McCall. So like, you know, I look up to them too, so like I learned so much from the game.
And be sure to check out the Behind Kentucky Football podcast with Curtis Birch. You can find it anywhere that you get your podcast. And Jeff, the thing I like about Justin Rogers is he went on later on to say, you know, he came in with all the stars, but he's really humbled himself and says he's just trying to learn more from these guys ahead of him, and he's trying to make a name for himself.
Well, you know, there's a big difference in taking that jump from high school to the SEC. Now, I'm not knocking, you know, a smaller school, an OVC school, a Sun Belt Conference school, things like that. You can jump right in and be a star, but you're playing against the best of the best in the Southeastern Conference. And it takes a little bit of time to get used to that speed of the game, the huge size of the game in the Southeastern Conference. But he's coming along nicely. And there's a couple other players that got to play finally. And I think we're going to see that smattering of those freshmen get to play more and more as the season rolls on.
And Jeff, lastly, Florida had 21 players test positive. The LSU game has now been postponed to December. The Ole Miss-Arkansas game may be up in the air. How will these cancellations or postponements, do you think, impact the SEC race? Well,
I'll tell you, for a team like Ole Miss, who's coming off a couple of really tough games, I think it actually helps them a little bit because, you know, they can heal up. It's basically an extra bye week for them. And you knew this was going to happen because you're not playing in the pod like the NBA was or like the Major League Baseball is now. You know, you still, these kids are around other kids. You know, you try the best that you can to wear masks and things like that, but it's going to happen. You just hope it doesn't hit too big like it has at some of these schools, and it's affected them. But I don't think I think the LSU Florida game could affect it a little bit because now you got to play that extra week, and then the big game would be the week after if Florida makes it all the way there. So it could have some impact on what happens in that SEC championship game.
Absolutely. And Dan Mullen, of course, wanted 90,000 fans in the swamp.
Yeah, of course he did.
Not a good idea. Not a good idea.
No, not going to happen.
Thank you, Jeff.
Appreciate it.
All right, guys.
Stay right there.
You're watching BBN Tonight.